of his books and his legal papers, including notes he had prepared for his work as a lawyer during the coming court term. Without them, he was no longer master of the work at hand. He was desperate, even frantic, dispatching news of the fire and pleas for advice and reassurance. He contemplated moving from the neighborhood altogether, a remarkable thought for a man so engaged by his sense of place. Another measure of Jefferson's grief at the fire is that the loss of his notes evoked a speech of Prospero's in the Tempest, one of the landmark tragic set pieces in Shakespeare, whom Jefferson had first encountered in his father's now charred library. He blatantly alluded to it in the wake of the Shadwell disaster. Our revels now are ended. These are actors, as I foretold you, are spirits are melted into air, into thin air, and like the baseless fabric of this vision, cloud-capped towers, the gorgeous palaces, the solemn temples, the great globe itself, yea, all which it inherit, shall dissolve. Like this insubstantial pageant faded, the mother ran behind. We are such stuff as dreams are made of, and our little life is rounded with the sun. It was a time of testing for the young scholar and aspiring statesman. It was easy enough to read of tragedy and to explore it philosophically, turning over the problems of the spirit and the nature of things with glasses of wine in hand and warm hearts. The ability to apply what one thought in order to shape how one felt, however, was another more difficult thing. Thomas Jefferson had this ability. His head and his heart were contiguous regions of his character with open borders. Plenty of philosophical men live in abstract regions, debating types and shadows. The rarest sort is the reader and thinker who can see the world whole. In the ashes of Shadwell, Jefferson managed to do just that. He turned to the future, which to him meant much. The summit of his mountain was not clear. On the southeastern hillside, he created an orchard of pears, apples, nectarines, pomegranates, and figs. Bear your misfortunes so becoming, George Wythe wrote his people, that as I am convinced you will surmount the difficulties it has plunged you into, so I foresee you will hereafter reap advantages from it separately. With edited tag from Virgil, Durate, et vos rebus servate secundis. The line means, carry on and preserve yourselves for better times. In an advertisement Jefferson placed in the Virginia Gazette for a runaway slave in 1769, he wrote, "Runaway from a subscriber in Albemarle, a mulatto slave called Sandy, about 35 years of age. His stature is rather low, inclining to corpulence, and his complexion light. He is a shoemaker by trade, in which he uses his left hand principally, can do coarse carpenter's work, and is something of a horse jockey. He is greatly addicted to drink, and when drunk is insolent and disorderly. In his conversation he swears much, and his behavior is artful and knavish.